Hey everybody, this is Bama Guitar Dude, and by request I wanted to cover using and selecting a turkey box call for this coming spring turkey season. And this will be my 16th season, I think, turkey hunting, so I've used quite a few calls, seen a lot of stuff throughout the years, seen a lot of things change, and I want to share with you what I consider to be some of the better box calls that are available for you to choose from. When I first got started, I actually went to Walmart at the end of the season and they had a sale, which is a great time to be buying anything hunting related. And turns out that I picked this box call up. It's a Remington Magnum strutter. Okay, it's not even made by Remington anymore. And you can see that the engravings on it are really nice. I don't know if that's coming up on the camera, but that's an engraved turkey feather on the lid, otherwise known as the paddle up here. The sides are engraved, and it's a really nice box call. And I actually bought it because it looked good. I didn't buy it with any expectation about it at all, and this has actually turned out to be a really great box call, and I've called a lot of turkeys up and killed a lot of turkeys with this box call. And it's a double-sided box call. You can see it's got a left and the right side, and depending on which side you work, you'll get a different sound. So if you stroke on this side, it's going to sound different than the other side. So that sounds like a more aggressive hen, and this is, the tone of that is a little bit softer. And so, you know, typically what I use a box call for is my loud stuff. I am a big fan of using hen sounds to locate gobblers. Okay, not a gobble call or coyote calls or crow calls or anything else. I know a lot of guys like those calls, but as a turkey hunter, I prefer to use hen vocalizations to locate birds. Okay, and so a lot of times if it gets on up in the morning, 9, 10 o'clock, and I haven't heard anything, I'll go up to the highest ridge wherever I'm hunting, so that I'm broadcasting down onto this piece of land, and I'll use a box call, and I'll use a lot of cuts and yelps. And so a cut is you want to just strike down on the side. That's cuts. To cluck, you want to rest the paddle and kind of flick the paddle across the top. That's a cluck. But a cut is you're coming down on the call. Something like that. And then you just, to yelp, you just slide the paddle across the side. And you don't have to lift up or anything. You can just slide it across, slide the paddle across the call. And to sound like multiple hens, you can switch on the other side. So, you know, you got to use your imagination with turkey hunting. So this might be the aggressive boss hen. And then you come in on the other side. That's a more submissive hen. You know, and so what I found using a box call is I like a double-sided box call because you can sound like multiple hens in the woods. And so this is the Magnum strutter. They still make this call, but it's like a wet box call, and I don't really like the sound of it as much as these old Magnum strutters. But great box call. Now, a lot of things have changed, and there's a lot of custom call makers that are out there. This happens to be a call that was made by some dude in town. I don't even know who made this call for me, but a friend gave it to me. His friend had made it, and it's an all cedar one-sided box call. So you see it only has one side over here, and that sounds pretty good too. And so, you know, I've used this call to kill turkeys as well. One thing I wanted to show you is that the way I carry my calls is I actually use one of these Crown Royal bags, and I drop the box call in that and cinch the top up, and that's how I carry it around in my turkey bag and preserve my calls. And I've yet to break a box call. 16 years of hunting turkeys and I've yet to break one. And the way that I keep the paddle on the call is I typically take a rubber band and I just wrap it around the call like that right there. And so I'll catch the main part of the paddle with this top of the rubber band, and then I'll catch the end of it that you hold between your fingers on this end and kind of wrap it around there like that right there. I don't know if you can see that. And then I drop it in my bag. And nice thing about these Crown Royal bags is they actually have ties at the top, and so you can cinch it down and your call doesn't rattle and it doesn't make any noise. It's completely silent in the woods. So little tip for you there. Also, I wanted to show you that I typically carry my chalk around with me in the woods, and I put it in Ziploc bags, and I seal the top of the Ziploc bags, and then I put it in another Ziploc bag. You definitely want to keep your chalk with you, but you want to keep it very, very dry, okay? And the way you chalk up a box call is you, I don't want to use that chalk on this one, I want to use this chalk. I actually have two types of chalk. You take your chalk out of your Ziploc bag, and you never want to touch the underside of the paddle, okay, with your fingers. You never want to touch that, all right? But what I do is I just splay open the top like that right there, and my fingers are on the upper side, if you will, and I just take my chalk and I run up and down the call on the inside. I don't blow the chalk off, nothing. I just go up and down in one direction like that right there, and I get plenty of chalk on that call. And to my ears, a heavily chalked up box call sounds the best. There's some debate on that, but to me, they sound the best. I don't know if the video camera's picking it up, but chalk is flying everywhere. But hey, that's kind of cool. I like that. It's a neat effect whenever you're calling the bird in. But anyway, so that's custom made, and to be honest with you, and I'm going to kind of, this may be a little bit of an advertisement for Mike, which is fine by me, but this is my favorite box call right now. It's made by Spring Creek Turkey Calls, okay? And the guy's name is Mike. You can find him online. And let me tell you, Mike is awesome. I highly recommend his calls. Number one, they're very affordable. He has his prices listed on his website. But number two, they are very well built. It is a two-sided box call, and he makes several different models with different paddle lid types and different bottoms that you can choose from. This is an Eastern red cedar with a purple heart paddle. You can even gobble really good. Gobble really good with this box call. Another benefit of a double-sided box call is you can actually gobble with them. But yeah, man, check this out. Spring Creek Turkey Calls. Okay, I think he's in Battle Creek, Michigan, actually. And I love this guy's calls, man. He makes many different models. And I've given several of them away as gifts to my friends and family, and they will make one gobble. So check that out. But the only other thing I wanted to cover, one last deal with running a box call, is to condition a box call. You may hear about that. The way I condition a box call is I just use some Scotch pad. And again, you don't want to touch the paddle or the tops of the sides, but you want to take your Scotch pad and just lightly brush off all the old chalk on the tops of the sides and up underneath the paddle, otherwise known as the lid, and just get all the old chalk off there. And what I've found is that usually works. I don't use sandpaper on the paddle or the tops of the sides at all. I just use this Scotch pad to recondition the call, and then I chalk it up again, heavily chalk it up, and you're good to go. So I hope this helps and gives you some options for running a box call. Really, the majority of the calling that I do on a box call is clucking and cutting and yelping, and I use it predominantly as a locator call. And I did kill a bird last year with it exclusively. I don't even think I used my mouth call on the turkey I killed last year. I used a box call, and they work like a champ. Probably, in my opinion, one of the easiest calls to master in the turkey woods, and very, very effective. Okay, I hope that helps. If you have any questions, post them below. But this has been Mark, otherwise known as Bama Guitar Dude, and good luck this year in your turkey hunting.